welcome. This is mildly fatigued. Oh no, you can test that puppy out.
Hell yeah.
This is mildly fatigued with Adam and Caleb.
Howdy, folks.
So what's up, Adam?
Let's see. I've been thinking about the virtual reality or virtual simulation. What was it called? The virtual simulation or something like that?
Yeah, what about it?
I've been thinking about that a lot. The more I look into it, the more it sounds interesting to me.
That it's real or just interesting?
Yeah, the thought that it could be real.
What do you know?
I found out that the stuff I was talking about is called visual snow.
Okay.
That's sort of static to everything.
Okay.
And what sort of stands out, if you like actually look at what you're seeing, what stands out is like my eyes are creating that, not the actual light.
What do you mean?
Because for me, there is a sort of static to everything.
Uh-huh.
I only really notice it when I focus on it or when it's dark out. There's also sometimes things get like burned into my eyes, and like when I look away, I'll see the light and shit like that.
Their vision?
Yeah. Floaters are another part of visual snow.
Yeah, I know about floaters.
There's also sometimes a trailing effect. At night, if I look at lights, sometimes there's like a lens flare.
I know, but still, it's because of all this, you're like, we're living in a simulation?
I don't believe we're living in a simulation, but the thought of it is...
More and more apparent.
Yeah. There's also shit like the Mandela effect. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
Bernstein Bears are always spelled Bernstein. Or something like that. No, you don't know?
I remember it the other way.
But you know, it's something like that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. What else was there? You kind of know like the premise of it, right?
Yeah,
like
the simulation, right?
Well, it's not even...
Oh, the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
The Mandela effect, it's like... Some people believe that just at certain points in time, groups of people just get sent to other alternate realities.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that. I didn't know that's the Mandela effect.
Yeah, that's what people hypothesize what it could be. So you jump to a different timeline.
Yeah, temporarily or something.
Yeah, and then you come back, and then you just don't know that happened.
That's so scary.
Yeah, and like before the internet, everyone just thought Mandela was dead for just years until they saw him on like TV or something like that. So that was before the internet, and people didn't really know anything had happened until then. But that also just makes me think that like if we were in a virtual simulation, maybe they didn't want him to die, so they just fucking replaced him.
Yeah. Damn. Why wouldn't they want him to die? He's a cool dude?
I don't know. Just some kind of...
You know he's a prisoner of war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also found out that this isn't really the whole virtual reality thing, but if our universe was spinning, the actual like spinning motion would create time loops through our universe.
Okay.
So if you went into one of these time loops, you would literally just go back in time.
Okay. And why were you thinking about this? Or why?
I just looked up stuff about it.
Time travel?
Oh, the Mandela effect and all that stuff. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is it's like you start getting conspiracy theories. You're like, oh, and this and that, and how does it look?
Beautiful. We should have made a filter.
It is.
Oh, there is a filter.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just a shitty one.
Hell yeah.
You can wait a moment. What else about that?
So, I just like the idea that if our universe was spinning, our Earth could just get hit by a time loop at some point. And
like
just go back in time or some shit like that.
What are you looking for?
What you can't. People say time's a construct, but I think the idea that we can go forward in time just kind of proves that time is real.
I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works.
Because I would see time as just the measurement of things aging.
Okay.
And if it's just a measurement, you can't fuck with it.
Okay.
But if you just go out in space, or if you go fast enough, you will go forward in time.
Yeah.
So that makes time real, a tangible law of the universe.
Yeah. So you're kind of understanding Einstein's theory of relativity.
Oh hell yeah.
So time equals mass times acceleration, all right?
Yeah, it's something like that.
No, E equals mc squared. Oh, energy equals mass times acceleration. But his whole thing is that before they thought space was I don't know, but he discovered that space is very linear, on the x and y axis sort of. So instead of it being x and y, it's time and space. So just like you said, the faster you move through time, or faster you move through space, the faster you move through time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Faster, you know what I mean? And so you're kind of getting into. So yes, time is a real thing, and Einstein sort of found that out. But I still think it's kind of a construct now. That broke off?
Yeah, but no one fucked up my van.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Are you going to pack it now?
Yeah, this is Blue Dream that Teresa gave me.
Okay. And this shit smells amazing. You smelled it. It's like citrus from a god. Poor joint. Okay, what else was that?
I do kind of like the idea of time being an arbitrary measurement.
Okay.
Because just the thought that...
Wait, sorry, you don't want to close that, block that window? Fuck it. Okay.
Because if it's not, then it's just things age, and just time is the measurement of entropy.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you need to read this book. Honestly. Because then he goes into entropy, and he explains entropy and stuff like that.
I remember I didn't think entropy was a real thing when I was a kid, because one of my servers had the magic was called entropy.
Yeah.
And you could literally just age things or people.
Okay.
It was fucking overpowered, but I just liked the concept of it back then.
Yeah.
I always thought it was just a made up word that he used. So I guess that's the end of that little
You know what you should do?
thread.
If you don't want to read the book, I just realized it's all over here. It could be easy to cover. If you read the book, or you don't need to read the book, you could just get the audiobook and listen to it. It costs $5 or something like that.
If I had a little downtime, I would, but most of the time I get up in the morning, go to Teresa's.
That's why I just listen to it on the way to Teresa's and listen on the way home. But that's for time for blasting music.
Yeah.
How's it?
That's decent. Smoky. Now that they talked about it, I kind of regret not getting the end pipe.
Why?
Because it was funny. I kind of like the bowl was the penis of the end.
I like this one. I think my only opposition is the marijuana plants.
Yeah, I didn't like those either.
But you still got it?
They weren't too big of a...
Oh, okay. Yeah, if it's just a lady, I'm like, oh shit. Reminds me of, what's it called? Oh, can we just go to my topic? Video games. Because we can talk about that forever. Have you even kept up with DayZ? I think we mentioned it.
Mm-mm.
Oh no, I think I just talked to you about it. Dude, they just uploaded another update. And since January, they've updated the game 3 times. That's like fucking nutty. And, so, I don't even know. Name anything that made the first mod good.
What made me play the mod so much was it was the clan I joined. And we just sort of fly around in the fucking helicopter and go fuck with people.
Okay, fine. Well, there's modded servers, okay. There's already base building, right? Not only that, base building is easy enough to be like Rust, in which you need to go get tools, does it make sense? But it's hard enough that, okay, how do I say this? It's easy enough that you can raid a building with like 2 sledgehammers, does that make sense? But sledgehammers are fucking rare, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like this Rust thing where it's like you can easily raid anything with the right equipment, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how it is with that. Then there's modded servers, right? Then on the standalone servers, they have trade outposts, right? What else? They just have some of the coolest things ever. They just added so much cool stuff.
You know what I wish they'd do?
And they fixed the FPS problems.
Make sledgehammers like limited in quantity through the whole server.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So that like, if you want to raid bases, you have to kill someone that has a sledgehammer, which means that you have to be looking for raiding parties.
Yeah.
So while you're raiding, you have to deal with the constant influence of just people looking to get a sledgehammer.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because you'll see like whole gas stations cut off and stuff like that. And it's on modded servers, and it's so cool. Like,
I hate when they lock out the building from like pre-built buildings. It's like, I want to take that fucking gas station. Why build an entire base when you can just like claim something?
Yeah, I like that. So yeah, they've added so much shit, and it's so cool. And I've already told you how the combat has changed, right? Damn, you're pro. You can't. You can't. Every situation has to be thought out. You can't just kind of go into anything, and it's so cool. And what else? I'm trying to think. What else have I noticed?
The sort of squad play to DayZ I also really liked. It reminds me of like Insurgency, but it's more high stakes.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this mouthpiece.
Why?
It's very... I like puffing on it and shit. It's very comfortable on
the lips. Yeah, just DayZ is so cool. And it's like the thing with that just separated DayZ wasn't that it was a zombie game, was that it was like a realistic zombie game. And it's like gotten closer and closer to that.
I just remember like doing anything in any kind of combat in DayZ is just so fucking excited because there's just none of it anywhere.
Okay, yes, but sorry, not to... And also, zombies are blown out of proportion. Like, to the point where I think they should be. I know you don't like it, but I do. And it's at a point where, like, you really can't shoot anywhere because you'll get surrounded by, like, 12 zombies. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just like everything's so interesting. And like if I show you a video, you'll just see like the combat style is just so different than how it was previously.
Well, they fixed like the stealth factor of it, right?
Oh yeah, they fixed the audios and stuff like that.
Because I don't really mind the zombies anymore if I can do that. Because I remember in DayZ mod it wasn't like you just have to kill every zombie you come across. It's you
sneak past some of them.
Yeah, you sneak past as many as you can, and then when a gunfight comes down, you really have to like manage
zombies in gunfight.
Yeah,
that's how it was. That's how it is now. And yeah, I don't know. And they have so many cool weapons. Jesus, your face. On the modded servers, they have like modded weapons and stuff like that, and they have like currency in game on like the actual standalone servers and what else? Oh, they have like they've started you can start putting ammo in different weapons. I already told you this, but then they have so this is so interesting. Shotguns are fucking broken. Like, if you're within the shotgun range, you're gonna win almost every gunfight.
As they should be.
And so, what's so funny is that although they're overpowered, the most common ammo for them is the beanbag police ammo that just like shoots beanbags and like hurts them really hard. So it's like you can get a shotgun and you know what I mean. It's very easy to get one, but you're always gonna end up getting the shitty ammo that like when you shoot people, they just kind of go and they just kind of keep running at you. You know what I mean?
How many does it take?
Like 10.
Damn.
Yeah.
What does it do to zombies?
Oh, I don't know, but it probably does something good. It probably does decent against zombies. And zombies have stuff on gear on them, like they drop random stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so cool. And I like the trading. And there's people who can like own their own trade shop. It's so cool. Like on modded servers.
Oh.
It's just cool. I like it. I think it's cool. I know. Is this full done? I can pack it all up.
I think it's close.
Oh no, there's still a fatty nug.
You can go wherever you want.
No, wait.
You should get a computer again. Like Daisy RP or something like that.
Oh yeah, and they have RP servers and stuff like that. It's so funny because on the standalone server, I think there's 2 trading posts, one on Green Mountain and then like one in Berenzino. And like the one in Berenzino is like a friendly one where you can't like shoot or something like that, and the one in Green Mountain is like a bandit. Well, not a bandit one, but it's a non-friendly. And I don't know. You just start to see the altercations. It's so cool. It's like how you could just go sell weapons and shit like that for money. Yeah. So these people will just like the video I watched today is that like these people were all shooting around Green Mountain, and then he just followed the people around and he saw them running to the trading outpost, and he just killed all of them, and he got all their gear, sold it, and took the money, bought it like a super strong bear or something like that, and just ran.
Does money carry over between characters?
No.
Oh. Then what's the use of money?
To what, buy stuff like that? And so it's like it's because it's Daisy. The whole point of Daisy is like your life really matters. You know what I mean? So it's like you lose your money, you lose your money. You know what I mean? Maybe on the modded servers, I don't know.
Does that mean you just have to fucking like pour all that money out the second you get it? Just like buy as much shit as you can?
Yeah, you could do that, or you could keep it and trade it with people. You know what I mean? Because some people will trade money. But yeah, it's like, yeah, it's cool. And I think you spawn with money and shit like that.
I did like it when I played it. It was just there was no one anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, sorry, no, people I've been watching. I don't like watching bandits, people who play, but that's all I've been watching. Because literally, like, as soon as they hear shots, they just turn and start running towards the shots, and so it turns out for entertaining videos.
Yeah. I remember watching General Sam play Daisy, and he was the biggest fucking asshole.
He just killed everyone?
He not only did he kill everyone, he would, like... There's a video where... You know the concept of, like, Daisy medics, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's, like, an actual organization within the game community.
Yeah.
Or there was, at least.
They're on Reddit.
Okay. So he called for someone to come to him.
He killed him?
Yeah, the guy, like, fixed him up, and then he was, like, pointing behind him, and then the guy turned around and he just instantly, like, swiveled around and fucking shot him in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And the medic, like, in the chat was like, seriously? Just with, like, a fucking exclamation point, and the whole server lit up the side chat like, that's fucking, you got killed by that guy?
Yeah.
I got killed by that guy, kind of shit. He just fucks with everyone on that server.
That's so funny. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't know. It's just cool. And then I was gonna go into like Rust, because I don't think we talked about Rust on podcast. Rust is like a different. It's not like Daisy at all. Rust is more like let's get gear, and like Daisy's kind of like that. Oh, like survival. I only have one life. But I see Rust as this like base rating game.
Rust is more tribal than anything. It's
Yeah,
just
I
about
guess.
tribes
Yeah,
raiding each
yeah.
other.
So yeah, that's what that's how I feel the game is. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's like you can. I saw so far what I've seen is like you can get kind of your decent, like your own setup going within a day. You know what I mean? Have decent gear and stuff like that, and start raiding other small bases like within a day. So
I especially like the. There's guilds that just. The way they work is that if you want to get into that guild, you have to pledge yourself as a slave for like an hour or like a bunch of hours.
yeah,
And you just gather shit for the clan until eventually they just invite you in.
yeah, and they make some fucking huge compounds. I should show you the guy I watch. He's so funny. He just gets on new servers, find the biggest clan who starts bullying everyone. He raids them. And it's just so funny. And so yeah, he'll find just huge compounds like because now it's so cool. You can have like a map. I don't know if they had that before. You have a map, and so if you team up with people, you can like see them on the map and stuff like that. So it's easy to like link up and stuff like that. And you could also draw stuff on it so they could see it. And then I also think he did stuff. I think you can download the seed. You know what I mean? And he would like do cool cinematics and stuff like that. But he was showing like this whole fucking base was taking up like a bunch of squares on the map. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And it was just fucking huge. And he raided the whole thing.
It's even more interesting now that they add like vehicles and shit like that, because that's just a whole new dynamic to anything. Because it was like if you tried to raid from water in Rust, it was just useless.
Yeah.
But now that you can just pull up on a fucking boat, that's a whole new thing.
What the fuck is up? They're like just shooting out the side.
You could just like fucking boat in behind the base and just snipe people while they're trying to take on the whole attack force kind of thing.
That's insane. And then they have these things called explosive bullets, and you could just literally just be shooting their whole base down. You know what I mean? You guys are you're 10 people, imagine, with explosive rounds, and they have like high velocity rounds for like sniper rifles and shit like that. It's so cool. And Rust was like your game for a while. You played it.
Yeah.
What do you remember about it? Was it like this tribal thing still?
I just remember that it was totally fucking different than it is today.
Yeah.
Rust Legacy was just its own thing.
Yeah.
It used to be a zombie game. And
Really?
that's when I played it. That's when I started playing it. It was when it was a zombie game. It was very much just like almost cartoony, like a video game like level kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like everything was laid out like a video game level.
Yeah.
There was just these high mesas that fucking took up. It like cornered in the map and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I remember it was fucking huge.
The map?
Yeah, it was like this whole area was like this mesa area. And then if you went far enough, there's just a mountain range that you can just go off into the mountains and shit like that and build. And that's why, like, if you left the mesas, that's when you get, like, people running up to you every 3 minutes with, like, a fucking assault rifle. Like, hey, you friendly?
Yeah.
I remember you found a lot of just torn apart buildings. And at that point, I had no fucking clue how to raid a base in Rust at that point. I remember trying to, like, just pickaxe things down.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you used to be able to do that.
You could do that on certain... Oh, I'm talking about the Rust now. You can do it on certain materials.
Oh, yeah. See, just sometimes you'd go up to a building down, and you just fucking hatchet a wall for hours.
Yeah.
And then it'd break, and then the guy would come out and fucking shoot you in the face.
It's so funny, sorry not to get off, when they're trying to raid buildings and stuff like that, they'll find like a weak spot where they didn't build it correctly, and like that they know they could just take it down with like regular sticks. So they'll sit there for like an hour just poking this little thing down just so they can raid it without using their explosive ammo. Yeah. And they'll get in and use their explosive ammo to like raid the building.
What you call it? Legacy Rust was like, there was no fucking rockets or anything like that. You had C4, and you had, like, people opening doors. That was it. So, it was... I remember when they redid it, and I first looked at it, I'm like, they got all those cool new weapons and shit like that. And then they added, like, rocket launchers. Then they added a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Now they have explosive bullets.
Yeah.
So now when you look at a raid, it's less people just like clamming around a door, and now it's like just armies of fucking rockets being shot at this building. It's like an actual just siege of a castle.
It's so... you need to watch... You haven't kept up with Rust at all?
Not really, no.
Yeah, you need to see it because it's so funny. When they start raiding, like you're saying, everyone, all the fresh funds and everyone just floods in. And they'll just any fresh funds that run in for the loot, they'll just come in and gun them down to people who are raiding and shit like that. And it's just so funny. You'll just hear rockets going off and people coming in, people shooting from the outside, just shooting the people running by. And like when it gets really chaotic, you know what I mean?
And they like hide his new spawns because you don't have to have... It doesn't... Like, a gun doesn't show up on your body.
Yeah.
So you physically have to, like, gun down every new spawn, or they'll just pop out a fucking AK and just pop your face in. Yeah.
And still, it's like you don't want that much people fucking with your raid.
Yeah.
That's why, it's so cool. Or I guess it's kind of different now. Because instead of running explosive C4 and bringing people now, you can get, like, silenced weapons and put explosive ammo. And you can raid a whole building silently. You know what I mean? As long as you shoot down each metal door, you have enough ammo for it. So I guess that kind of changes the dynamic.
Is it still as reliant on airdrops?
No, but they go to airdrops, like, all the time. Like, I remember, like, for cool gear and shit like that.
Yeah, Legacy was...
You could only get shit from airdrops?
You could only get, like, full shit from airdrops.
Yeah.
If you found a blueprint, then you can make guns.
Yeah.
But blueprints for, like, AK... or M4 blueprints were, like, almost never in the buildings.
Yeah.
So they always came from the airdrops.
Did they have a thing where you could just have something in a blueprint and then learn it?
Yeah, there was a blueprint table.
Okay, yeah.
I think if you had enough... Oh, no. In Legacy Rust, there was no blueprint part, like, scraps. It was, you found this blueprint.
Yeah.
And then when the new Rust launches, now it's like you can just combine a shit ton of blueprint papers, put a gun in, sacrifice it, and now you can make them.
Yeah, that's how it works. You don't like that, or how do you feel about that?
I like that better.
Yeah, that's how it is. So usually he'll find, like, explosive bullets when he's, like, a fresh spawn, and he'll just, like, book it, and he'll look for, like, a tier 3 table, that's what they're called, and so he can learn it.
I do wish this game was more friendly to solo players.
Oh yeah, it isn't. That's what they always say. That he always because he always narrates the beating with, like, some cool narration. And he's like, you can't be a solo player in Rust, and you always have to find friends. And so he always teams up with someone and ends up raiding and then gives them all the loot.
Yeah.
You just get fucking raided if you play by yourself, or what? Oh, you drink the water?
No, I poured it out.
Oh. Why?
I was thinking about using it as a piss bottle.
Really?
Yeah. That's basically what that's there for. It's my emergency piss bottle.
That's gross. I would never be able to look at it. Because I just stare at it and I think of a toilet. You shouldn't have associated it.
So hand cannons are still in it, right?
Oh, yeah. But usually people use bow and arrows now. I think that's kind of the meta. Because bow and arrows, if you're good, you 2 headshots can take down almost anyone.
Nobody ever used hand cannons.
Oh, okay.
Hand cannons were like, if you found one in a noob chest, that's when you'd use it.
Yeah, so usually what he'll do is he'll have a hand cannon and, like, sneak up on someone and use it, and that's, like, the only real time that he'll use a bow and arrow. But for the most part, he's like a god with the bow. The YouTuber that I watch.
Yeah. When you try to base solo, it's just like you go away. When we played, it was like within a half an hour there was someone knocking at our fucking door.
Yeah. New to the block?
The friendly Rust neighborhood welcome.
It's so funny. Rust is community so toxic. Why you laughing?
I just find it funny that the games, they can't be anything but toxic. Like, there's just no way it could have a good community.
Yeah. It's funny.
I wonder what... After Rust, I would like to wonder what Gary will do next. Because he's been producing... And so far, his track record for games is, like, fucking top tier.
Yeah, you're right. What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. I know what else I'm gonna talk about, though. The next thing.
Let me see what the last one was. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's about video games, so I told you about 2B2T.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say about it? Oh, I was just gonna mention on the podcast and about video games. It's interesting because it's a server. It's the longest running anarchy server, and it's like the cheat anything goes. You know what I mean? And then the map never resets. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
They've hit the world cap, haven't they?
Yeah. And there's people who live at the World Cup. And you can get outside the World Cup, too.
Well, I remember I always wanted to go to Outworld on...
What's Outworld?
During the beta, there was no barrier. Just after a certain point, it would glitch out the terrain generation.
Damn.
So it'd just be these, like, fucking absurdist, like... floating blocks everywhere and like big chasms, and there was always like a danger of just falling through a crack and out of the void.
Damn.
But that you had to physically like just walk in one direction for just weeks if you ever wanted to get there.
Yeah, no, they did speed hacking and it took them weeks.
I have been there a couple times. I think I've been there once. But I do remember that when I had my own server, I used to just teleport as far away as I possibly could and teleport underground. And if you teleported out that far and you were underground, the collision didn't load.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just fucking fly all over the place, and you'd see like caves and shit like that.
What the heck?
I don't really remember what I did back there, but
It's interesting.
Yeah.
That going back to 2v2T, that's kind of like a thing now. So long as the internet exists, it could technically keep going. You know what I mean?
Who actually hosts it?
This guy named Housemaster, and they say he's like a shitty host, and he doesn't like. He's very not communicative, and he only kind of hosts it, kind of like okay, there's still like an active people, so that's why I'm paying for it. You know what I mean? But like, there's financial problems behind the scenes or something like that. And he just doesn't care about it anymore either.
Is it updated or is it one version?
It's what do you mean?
Because like I'm assuming the game's updated since they launched it.
Yeah, and it's the newest version.
Okay.
Imagine 100 years. Do you think a whole Minecraft server could be filled in 100 years?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
I don't know. It'd have to be like every person on the planet working to fill
Okay, so
every
you don't
block.
think there's not enough people?
Yeah.
Because they have an active fan base. There's like 500 people play, like out of 1,000.
whatchamacallit. And if they did that, it would literally just be like everyone replacing all the dirt and shit like that.
Dirt structures. Damn. Can you strip the whole world to the very bedrock?
Yeah.
And literally burn off everything? Can you throw literally every block in the universe into lava?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think there's a trash button now, too, so you can even take up that lava bucket and just trash it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that every block in the server has been destroyed except for one lava block, and they forgot to fucking save the bucket, so that it's just there forever.
Yeah.
This thing is so nice.
It's so nice. What do you have written down?
How far in are we?
35 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Later.
I was thinking about, like, the scope of female characters that's changed since, like... What made me think of it is we were watching Twilight Zone.
Okay.
And it was the episode where the guy has just a fix for everyone's... He can see into the future and he provides a fix for a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the life-changing, like, thing that he gave her was a cleaner so that she could clean his suit and then be his girlfriend into the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, that's a very 60s sort of way of doing life goals.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she gets to be a mother and a wife kind of thing.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's like, we watched Avengers Endgame. And, yeah, there's just, like, a scene where they do the cringiest fucking, like, all the girls get up together and they go, let's kick his ass! And then they all fucking do their...
Kick ass.
I'm a badass modes things. And, it's weird that it's sort of switched from a lot of women characters are just... like housewives kind of thing to like
to badass superheroes.
Well, not even that, like Mary Janes kind of thing. There's a lot of those now where it's just girls that are good at everything.
Oh, yeah, I guess. And you're just thinking about that?
Yeah.
So what does that say?
I hope it's just sort of like we start here, we overshoot, and then we undershoot, and we overshoot, and we undershoot until we're on like a normalcy of it, I guess.
So how long do you think this type of thing will last in media? Oh no! I heard your voice, but mine majority. I don't know. I guess it worked. We're back. Great talk. And it wasn't connected to Bluetooth either, so that sucks. Here, hold on.
Well,
pause.
what were we talking about?
Just how women have changed in Hollywood.
Yeah, I guess at like some point they're going to overuse it to the point where nobody really does it anymore, and then I think it'll just be the same sort of flexibility as like male characters.
Yeah. Is that? It's kind of. Here, let's your keys. I'm gonna roll down those windows. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really mind it because I don't think it's doing any harm. It's kind of like cringy, but it's like, okay, yes, women get to be badass, and that's all that kind of matters, I guess.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just kind of bad writing.
One more ear. No, it's not bad writing, 'cause that's how Hollywood works.
I think it's bad writing.
That's Hollywood, my guy.
Well, it's not even just
Is
Hollywood.
it
It's
empty?
like writing and comics and...
In comics?
Yeah. Captain Marvel. She's that OP in normal comics.
Yeah. I didn't know Captain Marvel was a woman.
Yeah. That's why it's fucking stupid that everyone was upset about it.
About what?
Captain Marvel being a woman.
Who was upset about that?
I heard there was people whining about it.
I could see that, but why would if she was a woman in the comic books?
I think at some point they turned him into a man, but originally she was a woman.
I don't know, man. I don't fucking follow comics.
Me neither, really. I don't like the whole... They just drag everything on and on.
Like in Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah. How many times do you have to kill the main fucking character before...
Oh, not even that. I thought because every episode is like, next episode. Like they start the episode saying like, you're gonna find out next episode.
The format doesn't really bother me. It's that they take it so long that they just have to just come up with bullshit to keep it going.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about the Marvel. It's like, yes, the Infinity Gauntlet can do everything, but wait, we can go back and tell you. Going into kind of the Marvel thing, it's kind of... I don't know if it's trying to comment on it, but it's interesting how it comments on, like, human technology versus religious, like, type, not even religious, but type of magic, you know what I mean? Like, type of the old world, and how they believed in fake stuff. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like these 5 stones will destroy the universe, but it's a human's invention that reverts it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's all that stuff. Like fucking Hulk is the strongest person ever, but yet Iron Man can make a suit that can control him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think it's kind of dumb that, like, every mythology has some kind of place in the Marvel universe.
Really? What do you mean every?
Because there's Asgard, there's, like, Hell, there's just, like, aliens everywhere. And then the powers kind of transfer over to other stuff. And then science is, like, another factor kind of thing.
That's what I'm saying.
How do you do that again?
Did it go in my nose a lot?
Mostly.
So you open your mouth. What I notice is I do like this with my tongue. So the back of my mouth goes like that. So I just block just so I can cover the air. I don't know how to, I'm trying to show it forward, but I just naturally do it. But I don't know if you have to do it. You just block off your mouth. You know, you take the hit and you know you keep it in your mouth. You do that. And then when I push my tongue forward when I do that to push the air out, sort of. But I just do it ever so slightly, just like that, and it'll just start to come out. Usually when you open your mouth, you'll see it come out. And because this is blocked off, just like that. You know what I mean? So I kind of just block off your mouth when you puff in your mouth, and just breathe through your nose. Now push it out. You're almost there. There you go. Just like that. There you go. That's how you're doing it. You just got at the very end. In the beginning, you weren't doing it. You just needed to push out the air just a little bit more.
Okay. What you call it? I realized not too long ago that smoke rings are one of the only real things I've like just stuck to for a while until I learned it.
Yeah.
Which is
surprising.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, what about the guitar?
I don't really have much time for it right now. The last 3 days, it's like, wake up, oh, I need to get the fucking shower now.
Yeah.
And then I get up and go.
Just play it at night like a crazy person. I can do O's, but it's like yours are thick.
Yeah. I
whatever.
found that if you let the smoke come out a bit and let it gather in your mouth for a second and then do it, it sort of helps. What was I talking about before this?
How O's are the one thing you practice?
I mean, before, like, the whole smoking thing. Last thing I remember is the whole, like,
Hollywood?
mythology
Oh, yeah.
mix.
That's what we were talking about.
I don't know. Science competing with something else, I can get behind. But when you just mix in so many fucking just variables, it's like when there's like 30 different parties that can get involved, it gets a bit over the top kind of thing.
See those fat O's? Oh, what's it called? Yeah, I don't know what's that.
Ooh. Oh, okay, this is for the next podcast. Should probably check my phone. Where is my phone? Oh. What time are we at?
It's got another 20 minutes on. We have 39. Oh, we have 10 more minutes. Yeah, if you want, because you're in a hurry. If you want to wrap up this podcast, we can.
Yeah.
All right. We're signing off, ladies and gentlemen.
See you in the next one.
See us on Story Time, where we talk about fear and loathing. I'm going to start ending it like that. Where we start talking about fear and loathing in Las Vegas. Fear and loathing in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about this week. So yeah, we'll see you guys. The last words.
Pipe's sick.
Yeah, it is cool. If you guys could see it.
I might like Sharpie out those fucking weed leaves though.
You can't Sharpie that out.
If they're not green, they don't stick
less,
out as much.
Yeah, okay. If they're black.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Because if they're black, then they kind of just look like vegetation, just nondescript.
Yeah. Anyways, with that being said, we're logging off. We'll see you guys on the next podcast. Bye.